If I can just linger on a little longer in terms of the effects of drugs, on the positive, like mind expanding components of it, what have mind altering drugs teach you about the human mind? Sort of from a neuroscience, not even like a biochemical, but just like the human mind is amazing, right?
Yeah.
The places it can go. Have like, are there some insights you've learned
Yeah.
from studying drugs about the mind?
Yeah. Can I start from a neurochemical
Yes.
perspective first,
Yeah.
and then we'll go larger? Just from a neurochemical perspective, I mean, everything I know about the brain, I learned through drugs, because of my interest in drugs. So I learned a lot about dopamine neurons in certain regions of the brain, about norepinephrine neurons, and a wide range of other sort of how our neural transmission happens because of drugs. And so that's a really valuable tool, lessons for me. But then when we think if we move out a bit and we think more globally, what have I learned in terms of the mind from drugs? I have really learned how to be more forgiving of people and of myself, and more tolerant of people, and certainly learned a lot more about empathy as a result of drug use. And like I said earlier, learning what we can be as a species, and it's quite incredible. Uh, but because of drugs.
Yeah, there's a certain property of drugs in different ways. They take you out of your body, like they help you evaluate yourself from like a third person perspective. It's almost like you have a consciousness in here and you get to step outside of it a little bit. I mean, that's kind of what meditation does too. All of these processes, that's what a hell of a good workout does too. It makes you evaluate yourself, and then somehow that allows you to be forgiving to yourself and forgiving to others, sort of empathize. It trains that part of your brain. So stepping outside of yourself, not taking yourself too seriously.
Absolutely.
That process. And different drugs do that in different ways. Obviously, I don't know from personal experience on some of them, but I'm now curious. It's unfortunate that the Hollywood and different stories we have demonize certain drugs and sort of basically, I don't know, make it difficult for people like me to explore those ideas. But then I'm really thankful for people like you who are pushing the science forward and are unafraid to talk about this kind of stuff. Because I'm really fascinated with consciousness on the engineering side. I really want to build robots that have elements of intelligence, emotion, even consciousness. And for that, we need to understand it in ourselves. And drugs is all the different kinds of drugs, if used safely, seems like an incredible tool to understand ourselves. And if we're limiting ourselves from certain drugs because of certain political games that are being played, it's sad.
Yeah, and people know this. A lot of middle to upper class people know this. The illicit drug trade business is a multi-million dollar industry, multi-billion dollar industry that could not be supported by people who are poor. And that has to be supported by a lot of customers. And a lot of people around the world know this. They're in the closet. And in the book, I call for them to get out of the closet so we can start being more honest and we can take the pressure off of those people who are not as privileged.